He built a fallout shelter at home and took his wife inside to escape a nuclear attack. The moment they stepped in, a deafening explosion thundered outside. Mike quickly sealed the heavy steel door and activated the timer. Only after 35 years, once the radioactive fallout's half-life had passed, could they emerge? What they didn't know was that the massive blast had actually come from a plane crash, not a nuclear explosion. During their long confinement, the couple welcomed their first child, Adam. Fortunately, Mike had prepared well in advance, stockpiling enough supplies to last 35 years, so they wouldn't have to worry about food or necessities. Unfortunately, this child would spend the next few decades of his life underground. However, the shelter was well-equipped and highly functional. It had a continuous power supply system, all kinds of household appliances, and storage space comparable to a large supermarket, more than enough to meet his wife and child's daily needs. Mike kept himself busy too. He raised fish underground, grew plants, and even built an impressive library. After all, education starts young. From an early age, Mike taught Adam English and German, along with extensive theoretical knowledge and practical skills, while his mother focused on teaching him manners and the social graces necessary for polite society. Despite being completely cut off from the outside world, the family lived warmly and contentedly. Mike even gave Adam his treasured collection of baseball cards and all the stocks he owned. Time flew by, and the child was now 35 years old. That day, his parents were celebrating his birthday. Adam blew out the candles and silently made a wish. Suddenly, a violent tremor shook the shelter. Mike went to check and discovered the 35-year countdown had reached 0. The heavy door automatically opened, suggesting the outside threat might have passed. Mary was overwhelmed with emotion. They finally had the chance to return to the surface and see the sky and clouds they'd been separated from for so long. To ensure safety, Mike decided to scout ahead himself. He put on protective gear and went up alone to assess the situation. The once bustling residential area was now nothing but ruins. A drunk homeless man saw Mike and, thinking a deity had descended, fainted on the spot. Mike cautiously looked around and encountered a boy wearing women's clothing and a raggedly dressed beggar. Panicked, he immediately returned underground and told his wife and son everything he'd seen. Mike was convinced that nuclear radiation had caused human genetic mutations and repeatedly warned Mary never to leave the shelter. As he spoke, he planned to seal the door again. This time, however, Mary firmly objected. She refused to be trapped underground any longer and didn't want their 35-year-old son to spend his entire life never experiencing the real world. While they were arguing, Mike's heart condition suddenly flared up. While he was bedridden and unable to move, Mary quickly gave their son money and sent him out to buy large quantities of supplies. The shelter's food was nearly depleted. Adam took the baseball cards and stocks his father had given him and left the underground shelter via the elevator. When Adam first stepped into the outside world and saw humans other than his parents, he was incredibly excited. He rode a bus for the first time and arrived at the legendary supermarket. However, after 35 years, prices had increased tenfold, and his mother's money could barely buy anything. Adam had no choice but to return home and figure out another plan. But as evening fell, he couldn't find his way back. That is, until he came across a collectibles shop. Excitedly, he walked in, planning to sell the baseball cards his father had given him for cash. To his surprise, the shop owner, taking advantage of his ignorance, tried to buy all the cards at a low price. The naive Adam thought the owner was being kind. Anna, an employee at the shop, couldn't stand it and exposed the owner's scheme. She told Adam that any single card here was worth $10,000. The owner, furious and embarrassed, fired Anna on the spot. Adam was immediately smitten with this kind-hearted girl and pestered her to help him find a place to stay. The girl was wary, mistaking him for a creep, until Adam offered a baseball card in exchange. Only then did Anna agree to take him to a hotel. Early the next morning, Anna came looking for him again. Her kind nature wouldn't let her keep someone's valuable item. Adam felt he was responsible for her losing her job and should compensate her. So he asked Anna to help him sell the baseball cards and use the money to buy the supplies he needed. Worried Anna might refuse, Adam promised to pay her handsomely. Enticed by the money, Anna agreed. The two quickly sold the baseball cards for cash and bought a whole truckload of supplies. On the way home, Adam casually mentioned he was looking for a wife unaffected by nuclear radiation. Anna found him pure-hearted and sweet, and immediately agreed to help him search. Learning that Adam had no permanent residence, Anna brought him home. Through their daily interactions, she gradually discovered that although Adam seemed a bit naive on the surface, he was actually extremely well-mannered. He was not only knowledgeable, but also had excellent etiquette and moral values. To help Adam find a partner, Anna took him to a party. She intended to guide him, but was surprised to discover Adam was lively and outgoing, conversing easily with the girls. His dancing skills were even more exceptional. Standing in the center of the dance floor, he was absolutely radiant. There was no need to worry about him finding a wife. Seeing this, Anna suddenly felt displeased and left the party in anger. At that moment, she hadn't yet realized she'd quietly fallen in love with Adam. When she got home and heard Adam had left with someone else, she immediately flew into a rage and decided to go find him herself. But just as she got in the car, Adam unexpectedly returned home on his own. As soon as they entered the house, Adam expressed his love for her. However, shortly after his successful confession, Adam planned to take Anna back to the underground shelter. Anna instantly regretted it, thinking Adam was just an idiot. She quickly said goodnight, pushed him away, and sent him out the door. The next day, Adam accidentally found the entrance back home and immediately came to Anna, wanting to take her home directly. Faced with Adam's behavior, Anna immediately called a psychologist, planning to have him get his head checked. Unable to argue, Adam quietly slipped away to get home. At his place, Anna discovered that all his belongings were actually from 35 years ago, which made her wonder if she'd misunderstood him. Just then, her friend discovered that the stocks Adam had left behind were all old stocks from 35 years ago, now worth tens of millions. Anna suddenly realized that maybe everything Adam had said was true. After realizing the truth, the two immediately drove out, planning to find Adam and return the stocks to him. However, finding one person in a sea of faces proved far more difficult than they'd imagined. Just as they were about to head home disappointed, they unexpectedly spotted Adam. Anna rushed after him, and the two embraced tightly. Afterward, Adam brought Anna home to meet his parents. To help his parents better adapt to life above ground, Adam sold some of his stocks, purchased land in the suburbs, and built a spacious house. Once everything was settled, he brought his parents to the new home. His mother, seeing the long-lost blue sky, danced with joy. Adam also told his father the truth about there being no nuclear bomb. His father looked shocked. With his usual rationality and intelligence, he knew he couldn't have been mistaken. It seemed accepting all of this would take him quite a long time. However, not long after, Mike started taking measurements on the surface again. He planned to build another nuclear fallout shelter.